Ahangaha tubona muryamye.
Ahangaha mubona turyamye.
Ubu niho murara, niho mutuye, ubuzima bwose ni hano.
Tujya gutera nk'impyisi iraza ikadutambukaho ikirukanka ikagenda imokera hakurya iyo ngiyo natwe tukayihorera.
What in the world can you compare a mother's love to? Yes, nothing. Well, we have been seeing mothers fighting for the lives of their dying children, but this time it is the other way round. These two have been homeless because of their very own mother. They have been looking for her, and it has been years now. They walked probably the longest journey that none of us have ever walked. They spent days on the road coming back from the city that they had followed the person that had taken their mother. Yes, probably we are all wondering what happened to them and why was their mother taken. Who took her and where was their father when all this was happening? Why did they have to walk more than 200 kilometers on foot? Well, this is their story.
Banyita Nakimana Claude.
Nakimana Claude.
Nge banyita Nishobora Jacques.
Nishobora Jacques.
Nuko mudusanze hano.
Aha. Muri abavandimwe.
Turi abavandimwe.
Mukuru ninde?
Mukuru ni Nishobora Jacques ngewe.
This is Jack and he is 34 years old. This is his young brother and he is called Claude. He is 32 years old, and a single look at them, one may think that Claude is older than the other, but according to what they say, this is not at all true.
Dufite ababyeyi bombi, umwe yitaba Imana. Dufite grafrere wanje ajyana mukecuru amujyana I Kigali, biba ngombwa natwe ko tubakurikira.
According to Claude, they were born in the same village a lot of years ago. They lived with both their parents and everything was okay. They grew up slowly by slowly until they started going to school, until someday that everything turned around. It was that one morning that they will never forget. They woke up early and saw their mother crying and a lot of people that were gathered around their house. They kept on wondering, but little did they know that their father had died. This was a moment of pain, but as days went by, they started learning to accept this, though it was very hard. One day, a man came from the city and came to their house. He claimed to be their brother, and these two did not know him, but they sat and listened to what he was saying. He said that he has a house in the city and he had come to take their mother because life on her own was going to be so hard since she was not working and her husband was not here anymore. Surprisingly, she agreed to this. They moved to the city and by then, these two were still very young. Jack was about 16 years old and his brother was only 14. They watched their mother being taken to the city and they couldn't do anything about it until it was too late. After a few days, these two failed to live without their mother because she was now the only family that they were left with. They had some money and this is when they left and decided to go to the city and look for her. They never had a mobile phone and neither did they know where their mother was. They did not know anyone in the city, but they got on a bus and moved there. They were hoping to find their mother, but according to what they say, what happened to them in the city was a great disaster. They failed to find their mother and they spent days on the streets searching and searching, but nothing. They spent the rest of the money they had to buy food and within no time, it was all done. Now, they did not know what to do. Jack and his brother started sleeping on the streets with a lot of hunger, hoping that one day their mother will bump into them, and they waited for days, weeks, months, but this never actually happened and instead their situation was getting worse. When the suffering was now a lot, they realized that they couldn't handle it anymore. This is when the both of them decided to move back to the village. This turned out to be the worst experience of their life. The only option that they had was to walk back to the far village where they came from. This was about 205 kilometers and this is about 130 miles. They went for it with hope to manage.
Tuhagenda iminsi 6 uko ntago twibaga ntitwari kubura n'uwo twiba twaravuze ati ntago twiba reka dufate umuhanda wa leta tuze.
They started walking and walking. They spent 6 days on the run, but according to what they say, these days seemed like months to them. They did not have money to even buy food, and the way that they survived is terrible. These two always used to feed on the food that was always found on the ground and put into trash. They used to look for it, and after they were done eating, they used to continue with their journey, and this was very hard for the both of them.
Tukajya tugera ku muhanda tugatoragura nk'agace kakumbati tukagahekenya, twagera ahantu hari itiyo ry'amazi tugafata amazi tukanywa, tuza birangira tugeze n'ahangaha i Nyamasheke.
On the 5th day of the journey, they lost each other. Claude's shoes were worn out and he stopped walking and started mending them. Jack continued walking without knowledge of what was happening to his young brother. That night, they all slept independently.
Muhanda urukweto runshekeraho rwa rugabire nayo nambaye. Uyu muhungu mu gihe akomeje ntiyamenya ko urukweto rwanshikiyeho nge nshaka ukuntu narudoda.
Ni gute utabimenye sikandi mwari kumwe?
Yari ari imbere yari yanshigishije intambwe.
They always used to sleep in a trench or a waterway beside the road. Early the next morning, Claude was lucky enough to talk to one of the bus drivers who found him walking and wanted to talk to him. He told this driver about his condition and he decided to give him a ride to where he was going. On their journey, they found Jack walking on the road and they also let him in, and this was a day that they never forget.
Ngira shoferi ati dore wa muvandimwe wanjye wampereye ku Kibuye. Uyu muhungu shoferi araparika araza mushyira mu modoka abwira n'abo bagenzi ukuntu twaturutseyo.
The passengers in the bus felt sorry for these two and bought for them food, something that they had last had in months because all that they were feeding on was just leftovers, and this is how they managed to get home. When they got home, they were shocked. Their house was broken down like a long time ago. Jack and his brother did not know where to go anymore, and this is when they came to this bush.
Ibikoko ntibishobora kubatera nijoro muryamye bikabarya.
Ibikoko usanga biri kwatambuka ariko twakibona ntitugitere nk'ibuye. Umwe araryama nk'amasaha 4 cyangwa 5, undi akaba yicaye akaba murindiye nk'umutekano, undi akanguka kongera akaryama.
This is where they live now. They are always scared of wild animals that may come across them. They have to protect each other during the night because this is the only way that they could ever survive in this bush. These are the only clothes that they have, and it has been years now since they managed to wear any other.
Ukuntu mfata agasabune ngahita ko manuka ku mugezi uri hariya, ngahita ko nkuramwe imyenda nk'umusore, ngahita ko nyifura, namara kuyifura ngahita nyakamura ngahita nanayambara ubundi ngakomeza.
All that they do now is to go by the riverside, wash them and wear them when they are still wet. In the same river where they wash their clothes, this is where they also shower.
Heraho ni inzu.
Tubonye nkaho tuba. Urabona ko mudusanze nta n'agapantaro tuba dufite, umuntu akabona nk'utwo twenda wenda akajya abona ahantu ataha hameze neza.
They are now asking for help so that they can be able to get a place to stay, because living in this bush is not guaranteed and they may end up getting hurt or even dead. Today, this is why their story is being told. The funds that will be used to support this too will be donated via Giving Life. A link that is in the description of this video and pinned in the topmost comment by Afrimax English. Thank you for watching. My name is Prince. This is Afrimax English. Do not forget to subscribe.